No matter what I do, I will always be the child of two African immigrants. That's the lens in which I see the world. That is the lens in which I do my work. I've got into this work removing hurdles and barriers for people that look like me, people that will come behind me, but that came through the lens and the experiences of seeing immigrants trying to navigate this country. The immigrant story, specifically the African immigrant story, is not often told, and I think we need to celebrate the resiliency of being African and being an immigrant and landing in this country and the hurdles and headwinds that we face. And so my job, my passion is to remove that. And so I do it with a lot of pride, but first and foremost, again, always the child of two African immigrants, specifically Liberian women. I'd say my connection to Liberia, I was just there in December, had a time, but I've also been really committed to giving back to the education system. About 10 years ago, I shipped 15,000 books to a school that I was sponsoring, and so you'll know when I walk in the room that I'm Liberian. You'll know that I wear it with a lot of pride, and I love Liberian people. So I'm honored to be here again and share this space. I've been in my role at ESPN and Disney for about 7.5 years now. I've spent my career in human resources. I started off at Target headquarters in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I've worked for a lot of Fortune 5s. I see my family right there, a lot of Fortune 5s, but one of the things that I'm passionate about is making sure that I can be a champion of us in any sector, in any space, so we can represent our community and our people at the highest levels.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? This is amazing. Shout out Sal, shout out June, the LEA. Y'all doing an amazing job. It's well curated, well crafted. Just look at the venue, look at the scenery. I'm super blessed to be celebrating Liberian culture here. My name is Lasana Ace Harris, and obviously I'm born here. My colloquial is a little whatever. Y'all give me grace. But I will say, when I took a mission trip to Liberia in 2018, the first time changed my life. I went with a group of people from a church that still supports Liberia to this day. Some of you may or may not know my dad was the late William B.G.K. Harris. He founded a church in Atlanta in 1987. It was pretty much a historically well-known Liberian church that was a place for a lot of Liberian refugees, doing a lot of immigration work, and just kind of being a spiritual refuge for a lot of Liberians in Atlanta. So my dad has done a lot of charitable work all over the community. So I am literally a seed from his tree, essentially. So I remember being in Banda on the mission field with a group of African Americans with the mission school that we support. And it was so interesting. The kids obviously are speaking English. The Black American missionaries that were with us, the kids could not understand them. And I used my not so good colloquial to communicate to them as a translator. And it was a moment just to kind of reflect my heritage. But for me, music's been in my blood. I honed my skills as a musician and producer at the church that my dad planted. Literally, my cousin, he's my cousin now, but he married my cousin. He gave me a keyboard when I was 15 years old and pretty much saw my gift for music and planted the seed for production. So my Grammy that I won is a direct response to somebody who is a Liberian, seeing me as a young child.
If you're watching the live, like,
so I got
comment,
this
share,
start from my
so I
actual
can know
Liberian.
you guys are watching.
For those who know him,
Or else I'm gonna turn it
so
live.
for me, Liberia is just
watching.
part of my culture. Everywhere I go,
It's pointless
it's
to do
always something
live
I
when
definitely
nobody's
represent. Even something I do as a producer. For
My
those who
network is
know,
low
some producers have producer
let me know
tags.
if
You
you're
may be
watching.
Metro
Or
or
just like the
different
live,
producers.
share the live.
I put my not so
If you're
good
enjoying the
colloquial as a beat tag on the records that I produce. So you may hear some records, you may hear that's literally my beat tag. And the intention of that beat tag was to call out to those who know this is a Liberian man on this track. So on a Grammy award-winning track by this Jamaican artist Coffee, you may know her, on her beginning of her song Rapture, you'll hear this American-born Liberian, not so good colloquial shouting on the track. And the intention of that really is to kind of call back to my culture, to kind of highlight Liberia in a way I know best. So I'm excited, and there's a producer that I've developed over the years named DJ Tag, also Liberian, and I was able to platform him on many records, award-winning records. So do we do it perfect? No, but Liberia is in my heart and everything I do. So I'm just excited and grateful to be here. So,
Please
yeah, appreciate
hit
it.
that subscribe button.
Wow. Let's give a big round of applause. We can do better than that. I'm extremely inspired just by sitting and listening. I'm big on, the diaspora being our most untapped resource. And the reason why I say that is because here in the diaspora, you have Liberians who experience 24-hour electricity. You have Liberians who experience 24-hour internet. In fact, if you don't get electricity, you'll sue your state. So it gives you a better sense of how, a functioning country should be like. That's what makes our research. So now that we've, officially opened up.
Microphone is acting up, but we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 speaking right now. I'm gonna make my way around soon to see who else is in the
I
building.
think we'll just do one mic, no COVID-19 again.
The great brother 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 is here.
All right.
Make my way.
Great, so let's go quickly into the conversation. I think that there's so much to talk about. With this timeline, we'll time the response in 1 minute, 30 seconds. We'll try our best. But I think there's a lot of story to be able to look at. I would love to start this entire aspect with, Renee, you come from a sport background. Obviously, the No Star is not doing well.
NFL
But
player.
one of the amazing things to think about
Liberian
is that
football.
when you see Liberians in NFL, in some of the most global spaces, you feel proud as a Liberian.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of, increasing opportunities to be able to transform our sport industry as a diaspora? In what way do you think the diaspora can tap into that level of understanding at the high level?
Yeah, I really think, transforming the sports industry, this is universal. It's not just about sports. It's about music. It's about tech. It's about fashion, the corporate space. We were talking about it earlier. I genuinely believe as Liberians, we have to move like the Jews. We got to be intentional and apologetic about how we support each other. It can't be, and we like to be in rooms like this, and we're all official, we look nice, we walk by each other, we might say, hey, how you doing? Nah, it's gotta be, hey, what are you doing? This is what I do. This is how I can help you, and this is how we can level up together. It's gotta be that intentional. That's the only way we can create opportunities and really move the needle forward. Or else it's just gonna be, 10 years from now, we're still gonna be having the same conversations. And we have the people in the right spaces. We have the opportunity, we have the resources, but the intentionality is not always there. And part of it is because we're all trying to make it. We're all trying to climb to that next level. We're all trying to do what we can.
I agree.
A lot of us first generation, so we're trailblazers. But as we continue to rise, we have to have in the back of our minds, hey, if I can make a recommendation, if I can put this person on, if I can be an advocate, if I can send some funds, whatever it is, I do that. Like for me, there's not a room that I go into that I speak at where the first thing that's on my bio is I am a Liberian. First thing, before anything else, before football, all that. So it has to be an intentional approach, and then from there, we gotta leverage each other. We can't have this mindset where it's Lone Ranger, I'm out here trying to conquer everything. No, let's leverage each other. And I hope before we end this event that we all connect with each other. I'm in Atlanta. Whenever y'all in Atlanta, y'all got access to me. Whatever connections I have is y'all connections. And yes, I mean it. That's the heart that I have. And I pray that same mindset is reciprocated so that when I come back here to DC, it's opportunities and we flourish together.
Let's give a big round of applause.
I love everything you said, but I want to add to what you said from a sports perspective, specifically about Liberia. Sports is an ecosystem. I've answered a question like this before. It is an ecosystem. It's not just a sport. It's not just a league. It's a training facility. It's Little League. It's apparel. When you think about Liberia, who is our greatest athlete, irregardless of how you feel about his politics, He's the Michael Jackson of soccer for a lot of people. Where is our George Weah Facility Center? Where is our George Weah, like, who's telling our story? So when we think about sports, there is an economic opportunity for Liberians to tap into the sports sector. It's untapped. It's when you tell people you are from Liberia, what's the first thing they ask you? George Weah. We have nothing, there's no footprint that points to this individual that is our Michael Jackson. It's untapped. So when you think of, when people reach out to me, they reach out about really superficial things from a sports perspective. It's an untapped area, untapped market. Whoever's going to get there first is going to win.
Right. I'll say one more thing to that because I'm glad you brought that up. I'm launching an app in June. It's called Former. Former is basically going to be a LinkedIn for anybody on LinkedIn, everybody here on LinkedIn. So Former will be the LinkedIn for the sports world. It will be a sports ecosystem. My plan is to take the money from that and to build a sports facility in Liberia. It will be done.
Great. Let's give a bigger round of applause for that. Just pushing back specifically on this, we want to go into another area, which is the creative and musical industry. So, obviously, as is a producer, not just a producer, but a Grammy award-winning producer. Let's give a round of applause. That's excellence right there. It's not ordinary to win a Grammy award, is it? The last time I remember, Davido was here for a Grammy award, so it's very prestigious. What I will ask is in terms of building on our creative industry, especially in terms of music, with your experience, how do you think that the diaspora can be an incredible force to transform that sector?
On the spot, huh? Nah, so this is something I feel like I get a lot of conversations about, and it's nuanced. I will say there's a lot of amazing talent in Liberia. I think the quality of the music has elevated these past 10 years to new heights. I mean, there's some really great music coming out of Liberia. The talent is undeniable, and I also see and hear Liberians reflecting their natural dialect more in the music, which I think is important. I don't think we need to have Liberian music exported that sounds like every other West African genre. I don't think that's a good thing.
I agree too.
I think we need to double down on our identity. At the same time, I do feel like it is a mountain to climb. For me, it probably just takes intentional development with the government, working with people like me to figure out how to create intentional opportunity back home. I think there's talent there that has to be cultivated. There needs to be better facilities, better recording studios, and also knowing, same thing what Renee said about some of the kids on the ground. So it's knowing how to make the music, knowing how to export it, and then I think the other part is how do we monetize it? And that takes a governmental system that allows intellectual property to be monetized. And I feel like, so we can solve the creative problem, but we need to also solve the infrastructure of the intellectual property, which takes some political investment. So I think one thing I do see that on any level right now that's really good, the production, the songwriting, the creativity has elevated to a new level. There's so many artists that DM me, I send them beats. I can't say who all, but I've been working with some of them. But I think we have to figure out how do we monetize the music made in Liberia so it can be exported globally. Because right now, it doesn't matter how good it is, how is it making money? It's an economy at the end of the day. How is it being monetized? And that's a question that I think takes a lot of minds at the table to solve that question. So,
yeah. Thank you. I give a round of applause for that. And Aye is wearing two caps, which is very interesting. You're a philanthropist. Very nice that you're going back to donate to Liberia. That's very incredible. And then you're a fashion icon. I mean, in terms of the fashion industry, which is also very interesting, maybe that could be combined with the work you're doing. Do you think there is an elevated way to be able to redefine the fashion into something unique, like other cultures around the world that we can be able to tap into?
The answer is yes, yes, yes. Because every day you look around you, Liberia has style. But what I have noticed with the research that's ongoing in Liberia is that it's a space that the young children are so eager to learn. They want to create. And last December, I had an opportunity of teaching at the University of Liberia through the UNIPAD program where they brought machinery, industrial machines. They didn't know how to utilize it. I did a 2-week course where I was teaching them the fundamental foundation of design. And when you hear the stories of, they don't even know where to go to find certain leaders. The fabric selections is slim. And me, myself, I was on the ground going into these spaces, sourcing. It's limited. The fashion space in Liberia is untapped because we don't have the infrastructure for it. And for me, I could do my part, bring it to you guys' attention and see what we can all do, because that's a part of my job as a philanthropy also.
We're going to be streaming Elliot
Go
all weekend.
do the research, bring it,
currently
and
at
present
the
it to
industry
them.
mixer.
Because we are so
This is Miss
creative with the
Ariel
country
Cole.
cloth. It's the cloth that we
Love
look
our
in
fashion designers.
Ghana, the kente.
That
It's
we
famous. And there's different weaving patterns, different colors, all of those things. We haven't been able to come from where our forefathers, ancestors started with the country club. It's still in that exact way. We're still weaving it the same way.
The like,
and
subscribe,
there's no innovation. So we
share,
have to almost start from, go back to what Nigeria did, go back to what South Africa did, go back to what Ghana did. Get that blueprint, bring it back, and invest, because tomorrow you will see Liberian designs everywhere, and you will see that, wow, we really are creative in that space. But when you go back home, it's lacking. That's why LEC, if LEC go out, has the machine working. So there's so much components to having a successful business that goes beyond just, oh yeah, we look at cute. So, and I'm going to continue to do the work because this is my passion. This is what I was born to do. And beyond just saying, oh yeah, I'm an international designer, this and that, if I don't carry it back to where I'm from, it means nothing to me, it means nothing to you. Because we're just reading, Vogue, this, that, but what's she doing for her country?
Share this with your
and
friends.
that's a space that I'm continuing to impact also.
Thank you. Great. Probably those who maybe grew up listening to Omni Radio will know this. So I'm going to say, your morning, your sleeping, you should end it. You better wake up. Yeah. Y'all ready? Your morning, your sleeping.
You better wake up.
Let's try it again one more. Your morning, your sleeping.
You better wake up.
Let's get the last one. Your morning, your sleeping.
You better wake up.
Amazing. Great. Let's give a round of applause for ourselves. And working with is a very interesting thing. Sometimes we don't realize this, but there's a kind of greatness or the niche of greatness attached to Liberians. Only Ballon d'Or award winner, Josh Weah, first ever female president in Africa, Madam Sedif. In fact, the first female president at the United Nations, the first female president at the United Nations General Assembly, Andrew Randolph. So there's so much greatness, we don't realize that in so many ways, and I've seen myself in that space. I remember when I went to Oxford, my goal was, I'm going to be president of Oxford, and I achieved that. So when you talk about, that greatness here, when you talk about the greatness working with ESPN and World, I just want you to tap into how do you share your experiences on Liberian accessing meaningful spaces that that is just not accessible to everyone, and how can all of Liberians here find that inspiration to access spaces like that?
Thank you for that question. I think a couple things. I think one is where there's a generation of Liberians, and not unique to Liberians, but there's a generation of people coming up that believe in microwaving success, right? It comes very quickly. You put it in, you pop it out, and it happens. I know I look very young, but I've been building my career for 20-something years, right? My first job out of undergrad You apply. Somebody finally answers that email and brings you in for an interview, and that's how it started. And so you build it brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. You master what it is that you're doing. You're dedicated and committed to it. I lived in Wisconsin for 7 years for my career, so I would consider myself a careerist. And so I know we like to be in clusters of places, Atlanta, Maryland, Minnesota, but I always tell people you have to go where the opportunities are. And sometimes your people won't be there. There will be no place to go get fufu and soup on Saturday. Right? But we got people who now can mail it into you, right? I had some folks who would mail me my fufu and soup in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right? And so my coaching to folks is, one is, again, you got to go where the opportunities are. 2, you got to build it brick by brick by brick by brick. Don't stunt for the brand. Be serious about what you're building. And I also think that I'm proud to see so many people becoming entrepreneurs, right? The path is not always by way of some of the organization's structure or their path, but I love to see Liberians going off and going out there and getting it on their own. My guidance or coaching is, if you're gonna get a job, understand what you're taking or extracting from that organization so you can go and build for yourself, right? I think eventually we all need to go off and find our own lanes, but again, extract as much as you can extract from these different organizations that you're working for. But I think, when you're in this space, own it, occupy it, be proud and stand in it, but also recognize that it's a slow boil. It doesn't come overnight. The job that I have today, I wrote about it in undergrad at the University of Minnesota. If you grew up, I love television, I love storytelling, so anyone that grew up with me knew that I would eventually get here, but it took a while to get here. So that's a 20-something, ooh, wow, that's a long, that's a long journey, but brick by brick by brick. Things don't happen overnight, you gotta take your time, right? I know some people make it look really easy, they make it look really fast, but you wanna build your castle with bricks and not sand, right? With bricks and not sand, so.
Great, that's really amazing. A bigger round of applause for this round of questions. And this aspect is a general question, specifically to everyone will respond to it. A lot of time we think about what can we do as a diaspora Liberian. Interestingly as possible, a lot of Liberians here may be inspired just by understanding what you are doing currently back home. And if there is one word to primarily, you don't have to do things back home, but if you will inspire a Liberian here on why it is important to build that Liberian spirit. So I think one of the panelists spoke about the Jewish mentality. But how can you tap on your experience? How many Liberians have been to Liberia? Cool. So we got a long list here. So in what ways do you think, through the lens of your experience, can a Liberian yet be inspired to do the next big thing back home? We'll probably start with you.
Yeah, I mean, just going back before coming from my background as a professional athlete.
Yo, you trying to leave this nigga here with go to the basketball to see how that shit is?
Yeah, Gigi can't come in, just come in here right now.
Let's go, because we have to cover everything.
Yeah.
I'm out there telling we're going to see how the basketball game going. Yeah.